Welcome to our Wednesday, May 4, 2016 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, 22 days more to 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations, Dutch Museum on display for visitors during the Jubilee celebrations, and land demarcation process completed in 16 indigenous communities. Stay tuned for the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Azim Khan and this is the Government News Brief. Demarcation of 16 indigenous communities has been completed, with 13 certificates of titles issued to indigenous communities under the Land Titling and Demarcation Project. Here is an update.
As the Amerindian Land Titling and Demarcation Project comes to an end this year, 29 out of the 45 communities targeted have been titled and demarcated. Enrique Muniz, coordinator Amerindian Land Titling Project, says that 2 demarcation processes are ongoing and 3 certificate of titles are being prepared. Investigations are still to be completed in 6 communities.
There are certain stages that we must go through before we reach to the point of issuing an absolute grant. And one of the major components of that is that investigations have to be carried out. And these are field investigations carried out by the ALT team, led by the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, where officers visit the villages and interact with the council and the general public in the village.
Under the Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund, GRIF, government in 2013 signed the US $10.7 million document for the implementation of the Land Titling and Demarcation Project. This project, which is being spearheaded by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, seeks to protect indigenous rights and create livelihood opportunities for residents.
This Amerindian Land Titling Project is of immense importance to the UNDP. We are in the vanguard of protecting the rights of indigenous people around the world, and we will do no less in this country, Guyana. And so let us join forces to make this important exercise a success. We expect that it will survive the end of the project and will be adopted by the ministry in assisting the process related to Amerindian land titling and indeed titling of other lands in Guyana.
As part of this process, the UNDP held a 2-day workshop to bring together stakeholders to discuss the issue of Amerindian rights and land titling. For the Government News Brief, Seneca Thorne reporting.
Guyana's arts, craft and music to be showcased during 4 nights of entertainment as the Jubilee Festival kicks off on May 19, 2016. Here is Renetta LaFleur with the details.
Guyana's art, craft, music and fashion will be displayed when the Jubilee Festival kicks off May 19. According to Director of Guyana Tourism Authority GTA, Indranath Harold Singh, the event will be one of the biggest for the month of May.
And that's 4 nights of entertainment, 4 nights of food, 4 nights of art, of craft, of fashion, you name it. Showcase of Guyana's culture. And what we're doing here is part of our 50th anniversary celebrations.
The event is expected to attract lots of people.
We are expecting thousands of Guyanese to come home for this, among lots of other visitors. Many of the hotels, or most of the hotels in the city are filled. The flights are filled, much so that Caribbean Airlines had added 3 additional flights. So we are expecting very, very good turnout. We are expecting to fill the stadium and to entertain almost everyone who comes.
Designers will be displaying their techniques at the launch of Fashion Week.
We're so excited. We're going to have Sonia Noel. She's going to be launching her Fashion Week on Friday. The Guyana Fashion Council, they're going to be on the Thursday and the Saturday. And we're going to end things off with Ms. Donna Ramsamy James, which she's going to be showing her new line out on Sunday. Each night, all the shows start at 5, and it's going to be finished by 8, so it's quick. So you can, from here, you can head straight up to the stadium for the festival for all the shows in the evening.
These events are among several slated for the Jubilee celebrations in the month of May, which include National Day of Prayers, Guy Expo, the Jubilee Float Parade, National Flag Raising Ceremony, Fine Art Festival, Jubilee Literary Festival, National Swimming Competition, Steel Band Pan on the Walls, National Symposium, Unveiling of the Independence Arch, 50th Anniversary Gala, and Guyana at 50 book launch. Renetta LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
Guyana can become a major supplier of cassava with the introduction of new technology. Find out how in this report.
Farmers are being trained in the use of machinery to harvest cassava through the National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute, NARI. NARI is currently using Brazilian machines to cultivate and harvest cassava at its Kairuni Horticulture Station as part of its experiment to create cost-effective means of cassava cultivation. Premdad Bichan, NARI's research assistant, says that interested farmers are being trained to operate these machines. This training will help them build capacity and expand acreage. The machines will save time, money, and energy for these workers.
We had 2 training sessions held right here with farmers from Parika and Craig area. These are the 2 main areas of cassava in Guyana. Now, what happened with the farmers in Parika and Craig is that they are so accustomed to using the ridge and furrow system that when they had the opportunity to see the demonstration with this machine, they felt that it's an advantage to them in that they will be able to plant more acreage in shorter time, because due to the fact that they have a labor shortage in these areas, this machine will work perfectly.
Through the use of the machine, the workers will also benefit from a faster harvesting process, which will see them getting the produce to the markets faster and putting money in their pockets with less manual labor. For this Government News Brief, Shivani Rampasad reporting.
The Dutch Museum will showcase Guyana's legacy for the 50th independence anniversary. The historic site will be on display to visitors and Guyanese during the celebrations. Here are the details.
The National Trust of Guyana has planned a one-day free trip to the Dutch Museum at Fort Island as part of celebrating the country's Golden Jubilee of Independence. This will provide Guyanese and visitors with a social and historical reflection of the presence of the Dutch in Guyana. Chief Executive Officer, National Trust of Guyana, Nirvana Prasad, talks about the preparations for the museum.
We have made significant efforts to improve the Dutch Heritage Museum with all new exhibits, layout, improvement, maintenance, even the decor for our Golden Jubilee. In an effort to promote, again, our nation's legacy, especially during this time as we welcome many visitors to our dear land during this historic occasion in our country's development.
The Dutch Heritage Museum displays many items that were used and or created by the Dutch during their occupation of Guyana. Also on display is detailed information on various events that occurred in the past during the time of slavery.
This museum, which would be the Dutch Heritage Museum, and today's exhibition in our office, showcase a significant extent of our nation's heritage, as it obviously captures from our early development, our growth, our journey to present.
The free tour to the museum will coincide with International Museum Day on May 18. This day is an occasion to raise awareness on how important museums are in the development of society.
I ask that as we celebrate our Jubilee and we may be visiting a lot of historic sites, that you observe some of the rules that govern these sites.
The Dutch Heritage Museum is housed in the oldest non-military structure in Guyana. The building was a Dutch court of policy hall built in the 18th century, where slaves who attempted to escape were tried and put to death by hanging. It was established by the National Trust of Guyana on Fort Island in February of 2007. For this Government News Brief, Namila Baines-Rowe.
A new blueprint is being crafted to guide government on the way forward for the cooperative movement. Details in this report.
Once completed, the cooperative blueprint will guide the Ministry of Social Protection's Department of Cooperatives as it seeks to move forward with resolving the challenges facing the co-op movement. Minister within the Ministry of Social Protection with responsibility for labor, Keith Scott, explained that moves are afoot to return some dignity and credibility to the co-op movement.
We came into a co-op movement that was almost dead, and now we're trying to bring it back. To that end, I've recruited a 5 experienced persons who have over more than 100 years of knowledge collectively in the co-op department. I have also been calling upon past co-op experts, and I have formed a team that we are now trying to create a new blueprint for the co-op movement.
Despite huge challenges, the minister has expressed confidence that these will be overcome.
The hardest ones are Fishermen's Co-op, Paradise Co-op, Bellevue Co-op. These are areas that are really tremendously full of problems, and some of them are over 50 years old in terms of intractable problems. Some of the headaches that they have is books that are not audited, records that cannot be found, auditors themselves who are now on trying to bring some of these records up to date are having a difficult time.
Minister Scott highlighted corruption as being among the main issues affecting the cooperative bodies.
In some cases, you have got people being sold one land to 3 different persons, and some cases have gone to court. People have been robbed, literally robbed, and some people have land for 28 years, and we don't have any records of them actually owning these lands. So to unravel all of this, it's a mighty task.
Paul McAdam, Government News Brief.
We have come to the end of this edition of the Government News Brief. You can find the details of these and other stories on GINA's website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again on Friday for our next edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.